Get in, loser. We're going on a big, strange vacation. Big, strange vacation.
Big strange vacation.
Big strange holiday. Big strange vacation. Woohoo! Y'all got room for one more? Hello, I'm a little lovely tadpole boy, and I can't wait to go on my big strange vacation with all my friends. Pack your bags, we're going on a big strange vacation. Big strange vacation. Welcome to Bigfoot Collectors Club, Big Strange Vacation. We're in the dog man days of summer. The dog man days of summer. You get your bone and you put it in your plate.
Where
And you
you put that
watch
dog?
the sun go down. Dog man days are done. The dog man days are done again.
Wow.
It's the dog man days of summer once again.
Grammy, please.
We're in August. Hello.
It's hot.
I can't believe it. We're in Act 3 of Big Strange Vacation. All summer long, we're talking about the weirdest, the spookiest, and the most mysterious places in the world. And I'm so sad that our fun is almost over. But I mean, we still got it. We got some time left. But
Yes, we've only just begun in a way, the fun.
I'm pretty sure we've said this on the show before, but August is the Sunday of months.
I don't think you have said that before, and I completely agree with you on that point.
This is going to be like the kernel of my new stand-up material.
Yeah. We're just working some stuff out here, guys, so just hang with us here.
It is, because on Sunday, you're always like, the weekend's over. It's time to go back to school. And then, August is like, summer's done. It's time to go back to school. I still think that it's time to go back to school, even though I've been
Nightmares where you're waking up and you don't know the combo to your locker and you can't find your schedule, and then not wearing any pants, and then you're 2 credits short of graduating.
Yeah. But I know for our audience, they get excited because the fall is spooky season. So we do have that to look forward to.
That's true.
It is weird. I don't know. August bums me out just a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, don't you think? I mean, we can extend this metaphor. June is the Friday of months. July is for sure the Saturday. For sure
the Saturday of the year. Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Right? And like, whether you're into it or not, the 4th of July weekend is absolutely the Saturday morning cartoons of the year.
All right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm still with you.
It's a holiday where it's like no pressure. It's fun and fancy free. You can just do whatever you want that day.
You just look at bright lights.
You can dress in your pajamas all day long if you want to. Go out on a boat. So here we are. And we don't have a guest this week because I'm going to be talking a lot.
We were afraid to invite someone over.
Yeah. I have a lot to say in this episode because
Fair.
This is a single episode deep dive. I'm just going to call it as it is. Did it start out that way? Not necessarily. Did it become that? Yes, it did. But before we get into it, my name is Michael McMillan, your host. And with me always is the spectral score of Spinner. The spectral score spinner.
Okay, I'm spinning the scores. I thought someone was calling me a spinner.
Yeah. Well, I could see you getting into spinning.
Well, I mean, that's
like the whirling dervish.
We're talking about different stuff. Riley Bray. Hey, everybody. Hey.
Wait, what's spinning?
Nothing. Look it up.
Okay.
Online.
It's a dog man days. You get your bone and you spin it around.
That's basically what it is.
Oh, you mean the sit and spinner? Like a sit and spin?
You'll figure it out.
I know what it is. Okay. Friendly reminder, everybody. We've got 1 month left to get your Big Strange Vacation merch over on the brand new, as of this summer, merch shop, BCC merch shop over at Fourth Wall. Links to that. Now, we got a friendly email from Grandma Fatarkin over on BCC The Other Side, who said, boys, I went to your website and the shop link wasn't working. So we've rectified that. But just remember, you can always find the link to our merch shop in the show notes of this episode in your podcast app. You type go to episode, and then as you're listening, you scroll down and there's links there and there's episode information. So you can always find it there, or you can go to our Instagram page at Bigfoot Collectors Club. You go to our bio, you click our link tree, and that takes you to all the things that you want to that you want to get to, including our new Supercast channel.
That's right.
That's right. We have moved our exclusive and bonus content from Patreon over to Supercast, and you can find all of that at bcc.supercast.com. And what you will find there is BCC The Other Side. You will find ad-free episodes, and you will find a now channel dedicated solely to over 24 hours worth of music composed for the show and a little bit on the side by none other than the spectral score spinner himself, Riley Bray.
Indeed.
So
I hope you will enjoy it.
I'm very excited.
You can listen all day.
Yes,
It'd
all
be a
day
weird
long.
day.
Hey, I write the show to the scores now. This is what's amazing. I cannot
That's
wait.
cool.
Because, when I listen, something will end and then I'll have to skip over an episode and find the next cosmic track on the old feed. So with this one, I can just hit play and I'm just cruising along to those beautiful, beautiful tunes, all writing session long. So I love that. And we're recording this in advance, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Thank you for everybody who's joined us over at the new BCC Clubhouse on Supercast. Thank you so much. Truly appreciate
Happy
it.
to have you. Yeah.
We are. Okay. Riley, speaking of pushing buttons and making music, get that sound cue.
Riverside keeps moving things.
It's one or the other.
I was cueing it.
One or the other.
I was cueing it.
I thought you were doing it to me on purpose.
I wasn't. Okay, you can't.
One of these days
now we
we'll
know
get it
you
right.
can't. Okay.
We'll get it right. Okay.
Well, what is it?
Get ready because we have some
BCC
news. Now, I don't know if you saw this. This might be old news by the time this episode drops, but this story that comes from ABC7 hits a little close to home for a number of reasons. Apparently, someone on the 5th of July, judging from the camera date in Compton, caught on their ring cam or their surveillance cam what looks to be like an alien walking down the sidewalk.
I watched this today. I saw this just today while I was eating a burrito.
Okay, so here's what KABC says. Video from a doorbell camera has prompted online speculation that an alien, in quotes, was spotted in front of a Compton home. The inscrutable footage shows an unknown figure apparently walking in front of the home at night.
Sorry.
Riley? I mean,
I'm a producer, everybody. I'm a producer. I know how to use computers.
I look up and you're just eating a bowl of cereal, watching it. The figure, this is why I sent it over to you on, just turn the
I already
volume
watched
down.
it. I already watched it while I was eating a burrito. Keep going.
So, the timestamp of the video was shortly after 1 a.m. on July 5th. Now, this says 6/5/25. That's June. So already I'm
that is
confused.
June. So, yeah.
In an interview
Get your story straight.
with the YouTube channel The Hidden Underbelly 2.0, the woman who's captured the video, ABC7.
Who wrote this? This is ABC7.
They gave this to an intern because nobody wanted to write the alien story.
Truly.
The woman who captured the video, or whom, I think it's who captured the video. Jessica Oritz said her camera spotted something moving through her yard, but the motion sensor cameras outside the home did not detect anything. Ooh, spooky. I asked my son to look at the video, Oritz said in the interview. I brought the phone and I was like, hey, double check this for me. What am I seeing? And he saw the video like 3 times and he's like, Mom, it's an alien. Call the cops. Oritz did not contact the police. Now, Riley, friends of the clubhouse listening at home, I'm putting a link into those show notes. What do you think about this? This will also be up on our Instagram, and if you're watching on the YouTube channel, we'll put it here. What do you think's going on here?
I mean, I'm still hung up on the typos in this article from ABC7.
That's
look at this.
not-
Look at more closely at their use of quotation marks. And how they switch from a single to a double to a triple. And like, also it's just, wow.
Yeah, this is not good. Now,
and I also like at the bottom of the article, there's a little link that says report a correction or typo.
See, they know. It's like I'm working there.
Yeah. Anyways, who knows? It's a weird video. I did watch the video and it is really weird, and it doesn't look like a person.
Now
it looks like a little guy.
So let's take a look at this. So if you're not seeing this, there is basically, it's like an angle down at the sidewalk, and we see like a white picket fence and like a little sign that says, "Dear God, I want to take a minute to ask for anything, something, but simply, I don't know." This exactly. Must be on somebody's front porch.
There's a welcome planter box.
A real live, laugh, love vibe to this front porch.
Yeah.
The alien is walking by. Now, I didn't see it immediately because now this looks like an elongated alien gray, like an alien gray with elongated skull, like from the Crystal Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It's bluey gray. There's no discernible facial features. This thing has like a hump, and it looks skinny and angular and bony. And it looks short because there's a tire behind it. So this thing doesn't look like it's too
he's like a little guy.
Tall. He's a little guy. He's got to be like 3-4 feet tall, maybe.
It looks like a puppet, kind of, more than a person.
It's very puppety. And for a second, I was like, maybe, I mean, it could be somebody in a costume, like a skin tight costume. It could be somebody, maybe the hump is the top of somebody's head, and then it's got like a fake head in front of it. But I don't know who's walking around like this. And also, go back to the very first episode of this podcast. Who am I to judge? Someone
That's like kind of pretty much the guy you saw.
I know. Is there some? And I also saw my guy outside my window in June 9 years ago. We're coming up on the 10th
same
anniversary.
Guy.
Now the head is
it does move like it's kind of like it has a walk to it.
It has a walk to it.
It has a real kind of gait.
The head does not look like the head. The head is longer than the head that I saw. And the neck is thicker and positioned in a totally different place. So if this is an alien, I hate to report, we got a couple different species, types of aliens running around Los Angeles in June because it's not the same thing that I saw. But it's weird looking, isn't it?
It's super weird.
Now, you like to feed AI bots crunchy ambient chunks. You're our resident AI expert. Do you think that this is like an AI thing here? Because now we're going to have to fucking do this for the rest of our goddamn lives.
That is unfortunately true. A really horrendous part of life now. My
nice
gut is
you can also see it through.
This has the details of real life to me, like a little bit of just like the Christmas lights, the way they are, and they're dripping and they're tied to that tree. That looks very human to me.
Yeah, and there's something transparent that it walks past, and you can see through the transparent netting, whatever that is.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, it could be AI altered, but. Dear God, I want to take a minute not to ask for anything from you, but simply thank you for all I have. If AI had rendered that, it would say like, Dear God, I want to take a minute to catch up. Yeah. Although that is getting better these days, but still, it's I don't think so. I don't think so.
Weird, dude.
Yeah, it's really weird. Really weird.
It is strange. It's fun. Maybe by the time this drops, we'll know more. But I like it.
It's a little guy.
This is what keeps.
I mean, I would say this is probably like 2.5 feet, 3 feet tall, right? When you scroll to the later part and you see the full context of the shot.
Okay.
Go to like 44 seconds.
Are you on the website or are we at the?
I went back to the
Instagram
website
video. Okay. So now I have to turn this down, I think.
It's shocking when it comes in.
Oh, yep. There we go.
Yeah, see? Okay.
Okay. Turned it down.
But go to 47 seconds or
47 seconds on the news link that I'm sending out to everybody.
You can see how little this guy is. He's like the height of
Oh, shit. They zoomed in.
Yeah, they're way zoomed in. So this little guy's like
this thing is fucking tiny. This is where everyone should be watching it from.
Like Leprechaun from like the 80s movie size. That's what we're talking.
This thing is small.
Because look at it next to the car. It's about as tall as the tire.
This thing is tiny. This is like gnome size.
Yeah, alien gnome.
That is weird.
That also makes me wonder if it's like just something else and it's just the way it caught the light.
Yeah, like some animal missing like fur, but it's walking like a person.
I know it's weird, but
it's walking like a humanoid.
It is. It's weird. It's really strange. Man. I don't know. It's a good one. Compton Alien.
Aliens in LA. I'm telling you,
baby. I mean, couldn't get any weirder.
They hang out in neighborhoods in June. Sure. I know this.
Why not?
It's very weird. Okay, maybe we'll find out more. Why don't we take a tiny little break, and then when we come back, we're going to dive into deeply to this week's topic. I'm so excited.
Let's deeply dive.
Okay, great. Hold on, everybody. Plug your noses, hold your breath, and then we'll be right back. And then you can jump in.
Put on sunscreen. You got 15 minutes before.
Yeah. It's the dog days and the doggy burns if you don't put the lotion on his back.
This dog.
Dog man, dude. Okay, we're back. And everyone, it's going to be a fun ride. Because I have not proofread any
fun. All right.
I've been writing furiously all day.
That's amazing.
And then I watched a movie for BCC The Other Side. So we're going to finger cross that I can get through this in a smooth way that makes sense. But you know what? If we don't, just like that little alien video, it's the spice of life, isn't it, Riley?
It is. You just enjoy it as it comes. You guys, think about what it takes to make this thing every single week. We do not have a staff. No. We do not have writers and editors. Guys,
everything that you hear, everything that you see, it's just me and Riley. It's all it is. Yeah. This is why we'd really love for you to join us at the new BCC Clubhouse.
That's right.
Over at bcc.supercast.com. Because it's just us. You guys, I've ruined my life to make this for you, okay?
So you better enjoy
it. I have no
That's
peace.
When you like slam the dinner down on the table and then just sit in silence.
Did I ever tell you? Quick tangent.
Yeah.
Because it's just the boys today.
Oh
my God. If you're watching this on the YouTube channel, I'm already sweating.
I'm sweating. It's hot in here.
Did I ever? Dog man days. Did I ever tell you about the time that my father slapped a pork chop out of my mouth?
No.
So, W. Dave Keith, friend of the show. Hi, Dave.
Hi.
He and I was back in Kansas City and he came over to my parents' house for dinner. And my dad had made pork chops and out on the grill. And my dad, he'll cook occasionally, but usually it was my mom, who cooks. I'm a full adult. This is like maybe 10 years ago.
Okay.
But Dad was anxious about how the pork chops are going to turn out, if he's cooking them right. He was trying a new method. So we sat down and we all get our pork chops. The lazy Susan passes the pork chops around the table. I get my pork chop. I cut it. I'm about to take my first bite, and my father reaches across the table and goes, "Don't eat that!" and slapped it out of my hand with the emotional stakes of a man who was trying to poison someone at the table.
That's exactly where my mind
not
went.
His son, and he realized the mistake that was about to be made.
To a T where my mind went.
And then he was like, "Oh, sorry, it looked a little undercooked." He slapped it out of my hand. Don't eat that.
Is your dad trying to poison W. Dave Keith?
Maybe, or my mother.
We'll never know.
We'll never know. Where'd you go? Lights went out. You're fine. You're still there, right? Riley? Where'd Riley go? I'm still recording. Riley is now in a pocket dimension.
Okay, I think that did all make it into the episode.
Okay, so
you made me laugh so hard that I don't know. My computer just something went wrong.
I looked up. Your screen went completely black, and then when it came back up, you were looking around like something had happened, and then you disappeared again.
That's what happened. Yeah.
It's Mercury retrograde.
You know what it was? It was don't eat that pork chop.
I know it was my mom's ghost being like, "Don't make a joke like that."
Yeah.
Probably. All right, Club Scouts, grab a life preserver because this week on Big Strange Vacation, we are hitting the open seas. It's time for a mysterious island deep dive. That's right. We are checking out 3 island locations full of mystery and high strangeness. Now, Riley, technically it's a deep dive. What do you know about mysterious islands? Can you think of any?
Easter Island.
That's one that we'll be getting to.
Nice. I can't say I love a sailboat. Let's do a little island hopping.
Yeah, let's do it. Get in our BCC yacht.
Mysterious. I mean, that's the one that comes to mind. I don't know.
All
islands are mysterious. You got the Lost Island. That's mysterious.
Yeah. Oh, that was very mysterious.
You got
my Animal Crossing island.
I
went back there recently for the first time in a few years, and people were pissed that I was gone so long. The animals not happy with me.
Oh, did you abandon sentient creatures there, Black Mirror style?
Yeah, but here's the thing. When I got my new Switch 2, I traded in my old Switch, and I told them, I was like, you have to transfer my Animal Crossing over to my new Switch because I cannot delete my friends. I have a girlfriend. Her name is Judy.
Yeah.
She's a little purple bear.
Yeah, you made promises here.
I made promises. I feel bad. I got to go back. Just like Jack, we have to go back.
Exactly. There you go.
Our first stop in our island tour is in the Central Pacific Ocean. I'm going to spoiler alert. We're staying in the Pacific today.
Okay, great. In my mind, we're on a sailboat. Just for the record.
Great.
For the rest of this episode, tack
give
up
us
the
a
boat.
little. Can you give us some seagulls and an ocean breeze right here?
There is weirdly a bird circling my house right now, going. I don't know if that's coming through. So we got that, and let's hoist the mains.
All right, we are headed to the island of Palmyra Atoll, which has been called cursed and likened to the Bermuda Triangle for its associations with shipwrecks and vanishings. Located 1,000 miles south of Hawaii, Palmyra Atoll is a U.S. territory that was used as an airstrip during World War II for the U.S. Navy. During the war, U.S. soldiers stationed at Atoll, an island formed by a ring of coral encircling a volcano. I mean, that sounds like something out of The Legend of Zelda right there. I love it.
But that's the definition of an atoll. That's not the name of the island.
Okay. Well, it's called Atoll. I know it's the name, but I didn't know until I did this that an atoll is like a coral reef around a volcano.
Yeah, it's like a donut island. Okay, sorry. Continue. Yeah. You wrote it.
It's like Mount Doom it's kind of like Mount Doom with the little donut around the peak.
Exactly.
Okay, here we go. So these soldiers were reportedly plagued by a constant state of impending doom, and anxiety. The island had a reputation for being haunted, even evil. In 1870, the vessel, the Angel, was shipwrecked along the coral reef. Survivors of the wreck made it to shore, but months later, their murdered bodies were found strewn about the beach by another vessel that had come into shore.
Whoa.
No one knows who killed the survivors of the Angel or why. There were legends that pirates had become marooned on the atoll back in 1812, and while there, they buried a chest of Inca gold somewhere on the island. Desperate to survive, the starving pirates ultimately constructed 2 rafts to escape. The first raft, of which there was only one survivor left when it was found, was rescued by a whaling vessel, but that lone pirate soon died of pneumonia.
Yarr.
The second raft was lost at sea, never to be seen again. In 1943, a U.S. patrol plane carrying a crew of 14 officers departed from Hickman Air Force Base in Honolulu and vanished just northeast of Palmyra Atoll. Presumably crashing into the ocean, the remnants of the plane and crew were never found. Morale among the U.S. sailors during World War II was bad. Fights broke out, depression was high, there were even reports of murder and suicide. It's as if some unseen malevolent force hung over this tropical paradise. Now, one very strange case is the disappearance of Malcolm and Eleanor Graham, a couple who went sailing across the Pacific on their vessel, Seawind, back in 1974. And now we're going to do the rear dip into true crime.
Ooh.
So Malcolm and Eleanor had planned to stay on Palmyra Atoll for a while before, because there's there's stuff there. You can hang out there if you want to, before continuing their journey. But after a few months of leaving Honolulu, they vanished. No one heard from them. A few months later, a different couple arrived in Honolulu on their yacht, the Seawind.
What?
Yeah. Malcolm and Eleanor leave Honolulu, and then Dwayne Walker and his girlfriend, Stephanie Stearns, come back.
Dwayne and Stephanie, what the fuck?
What happened, Dwayne and Stephanie?
Yeah.
Now, they had claimed that they had gotten the boat on Palmyra Atoll after the original owners had drowned in a capsizing accident. However, nobody ever reported this drowning, and Malcolm and Eleanor's bodies were never found. Without any evidence to that effect, Dwayne and Stephanie were subsequently arrested and indicted for theft of the boat. No one was buying this story.
Yeah.
However, the Grahams, or at least one of their bodies, didn't turn up until 6 years later, when a different couple, Sharon and Robert Jordan, who were visiting Palmyra Atoll from South Africa, first, I guess, found a shack in the jungle that was lined with newspaper clippings about Graham and Eleanor's disappearances.
Oh, boy.
And then a day later, found a sealed metal canister that washed up on shore that was tied together with wire and nailed shut. And they opened it up and they found the skeletal remains of a woman and her wristwatch that was later identified as Eleanor Graham.
Whoa.
Her husband, Malcolm, was never found.
Damn.
Yeah. So Murder Island is basically what we're looking at here. There's something creepy. There's a bad energy about this place.
I mean, it's a volcanic island in the middle of true nowhere.
Yeah.
The nowhere Pacific Ocean. 1,000 miles south of Hawaii. There's not a lot going on there other than
don't sail that. Just my giant dad hand comes out of the ocean, bops your ship away.
Wait, so wow.
So
did that hold up? Did these people kill those people and steal their boat?
So what happened, and I'm spitballing here, but basically what happened was they were both, Dwayne Walker and Stephanie, his girlfriend, were put on trial for the murder of the Grahams. And Dwayne Walker's defense was he had killed them, but in self-defense after Malcolm apparently got mad because it was discovered. Apparently they had befriended them on the island.
Oh boy.
Hung out with them. And then Dwayne said that he had an affair with Eleanor and Malcolm got mad and he somehow ended up killing both of them because Eleanor, they found that she died of blunt force trauma. Ooh. So she was basically beaten. She was beaten to death. Sorry, everybody. By the way, spoiler alert. Or spoiler alert. Also trigger warning. Sorry. Yeah. I should have done that a little earlier.
We're a podcast, a true crime podcast now.
Anytime I think you say true crime, it's kind of a trigger warning. But what are we going to do?
Unless the crime is just tax evasion.
Unless the crime is just...
Would that be a boring true crime podcast? Maybe not. Maybe someone's got an interesting angle.
I mean, that's usually how they catch most big criminals is through tax fraud.
I mean, I would love to see a big criminal taken down through tax or really anything at this point.
Would just be nice.
Whichever one.
Whichever one we want.
Maybe one that had like 34 felonies already.
Yeah.
Like anyways.
Kind of weird. Anyway, so that didn't hold up in court and Dwayne Walker was found guilty. However, Stephanie Stearns was not because there wasn't enough evidence to implicate her in the actual murders. Wow. But she did time for, the stealing the boat. But I feel like...
Also, that defense of like, I killed them in self-defense because...
Yeah,
this guy's... And then I just like, well, the boat was just there.
The boat was just there.
I wasn't going to leave it.
I know. It's a weird story.
Okay. Yeah.
You should check it out. But anyway,
let's never go to that island.
No, let's never go. And of course
atoll rather, I suppose.
Yeah, the atoll. I mean, they call it an island. I looked it up. An atoll's kind of it's an island.
It's like a square rectangle situation.
Yeah, right? yeah. But of course they say that the atoll is haunted by ghosts of the sailors, of the murdered, pirate or the marooned pirates and the survivors of the Angel vessel. There's also like other planes that have disappeared there. There are other shipwrecks that have happened there. This is like a place where you get a little too close, you crash into the coral reef, and you're kind of fucked. So all throughout the 18th, 19th centuries, you hear a lot about shipwrecks there. But the Angel one I highlighted because of the murdered crew found on the beach.
Spooky
stuff.
Scary. You think that gold's still there? Or was ever there at all?
Baby, that gold's there.
Yeah.
Now that's why we have to go find that gold.
The gold of Murder Island.
Yes. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, Riley, we're moving on from this atoll, and we're going to not just one real island, but many, many islands. The Solomon Islands.
Ooh.
Home of many strange and wondrous beings. Now, if Palmyra Atoll was spooky and scary, but a little too realistic in terms of what may have happened to these people, we're about to get into some high strangeness with the Solomon Islands. This is truly, truly bizarre. So the Solomon Islands are an archipelago in the south. What did I do wrong? Archipelago.
I can't say.
I can never say it. So. Ashwagandha archipelago is one of those that I always get nervous about saying wrong, and I can't do it.
I can't help but think that our boat needs a name. They were on the Seawind. What's our boat? We're in the middle of the ocean. We need a call sign.
We need to be okay. You give me one word, and I'll give you the next word.
Apple.
Taint.
All right, we're the good ship Apple Taint.
Yep, that's what we are.
Fine.
So the Solomon Islands are an archipelago in the South Pacific, northeast of Australia.
Ooh.
This group of small islands covering an area the size of Maryland was first visited by Europeans in 1568. Spanish explorer and navigator Alvaro de Mendaña de Nera, who was looking for the source of King Solomon's wealth, found this place. Because King Solomon of the Bible, how did he get rich? It must have been from an island in the South Pacific. Let's don't get it.
Find it.
I don't know why it's there. I don't know what narrative he was working with, but it's funny.
It just sounds like somebody who wanted to get away.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like
he's like, I have to get away from my parents. They're overbearing. Yes. I'm going to go look for King Solomon's wealth, the source of how he got so rich thousands of years ago in the Old Testament by just going out into the ocean and never coming back. I do think he returned, but
that's good.
What he found instead were inhabitants whose ancestors settled the island as far back as 30,000 BC.
Whoa, cool.
People have been there for a very, very, very long time.
Wow.
The original inhabitants hailed from the Bismarck Islands and New Guinea, and the natives lived in small villages and practiced farming and trade between islands, and in some cases, cannibalism.
It was all sounding so idyllic until that last word.
Yeah, I know. I had to double check because I was like, are we just getting into some like cannibalism and headhunter tropes here? But from what I read, they did practice cannibalism in some form.
All right.
I'm not saying everybody was a cannibal, but there was some. These tropes start somewhere, I guess. Yeah. So the Solomon Islands are notable for the numerous tales of a race of giants dwelling deep within its jungles. And one of these pulp novel-worthy tales come from Japanese soldiers in World War II on the island of Guadalcanal. Mm-hmm. Now, here's a little brief history off the cuff about the Battle of Guadalcanal. The Solomon Islands were like a key strategic point between Japan and Australia. And Japan realized that if they could get down to the Solomon Islands and take it over, they could cut off some major supply routes and mobility routes for the Allied forces. Mm-hmm. The U.S. Army, the U.S. forces and Allied forces were like, oh, fuck, we've got to go get it. So they clashed on the Solomon Islands in a battle that lasted for 6 months. And what happened was, I believe the Japanese got there first, and they were not nice to the locals.
Yeah.
And the locals were very willing to help subvert the Japanese, the Axis forces, and help the Allied forces in any way that they could. And I think they had already been trained by the Royal Air Force to like watch for invading ships off the coast. They were kind of like already working covertly for the Allied forces in a way, not in any official capacity, but basically the U.S. soldiers were there, our guys were there, and the Japanese soldiers were using guerrilla tactics in the jungle and ambushing Allied forces. So this was like a really bad battle. It lasted for 6 months, but eventually Allied forces started pushing the Japanese warriors further and further into the jungles. Mm-hmm. And after being pushed back further into the jungle, these stories came out. And I think some of these were reported by Japanese prisoners of war on the the guys that we had gotten, the Allied forces had taken into prison. What am I trying to say? Custody. But wherever these stories came from, this is basically the lore.
Okay.
So Japanese soldiers began reporting stories of being hunted by large 14-foot creatures wielding clubs.
Whoa.
These giants were described as having very long black, brown, or reddish hair, protruding double eyebrows, bulging red eyeballs, flat noses, and a wide gaping mouth. Now, the description is similar to the Bigfoot type creatures living in Malaysia known as the orang dalam. Now, these stories, born from the Battle of Guadalcanal, claim that Japanese soldiers camping out in the jungle were being pushed further and further inland by Allied forces, and near the heart of the jungle lies a cave system populated by this race of giants. The giants, apparently displeased with a world war taking place on their home turf, began picking off Japanese soldiers one by one, tearing them in half and eating them raw.
It's a very giant move.
Very giant move.
Yeah.
Have you seen, by the way, sidebar, have you seen 28 Years Later?
Yeah. Great giant.
What I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Great giant.
Man, I loved that too. We'll talk about
that.
That.
So good. So there's another story back in the 1950s about a local woman named Mango who vanished only to be found in the jungle years later, completely feral and pregnant. And the story is that she had to be restrained to be brought back to civilization, where she gave birth to a half-human, half-giant child. And the giant boy lived to be about 5 years old until he was murdered.
Oh, that's a sad story.
These are very sad stories, very dark. Mm-hmm. So according to author Marius Borian, an Australian researcher who lives in the Solomon Islands and I believe married a native woman, these giants are very well known to the locals. In his 2010 book, Solomon Island Mysteries, he writes, "The Solomon Islanders are lacking the understanding that their giant race would be a big scientific discovery to the rest of the world. Whether by design or not, it is appropriate that the Solomon Islands national logo is the place that time forgot." Borian, who built a home in the Solomon Islands, also writes about another local cryptid, the flying dragon snake. That's right, giants and dragons.
Dragon snakes.
Yeah, the dragon snake was first recorded in the 16th century by Gerard de Jode in his atlas Speculum Orbis Terrae, or Mirror of the World. The dragon snake is a flying, glowing reptilian creature with a narrow head, bat wings, and a long fluked tail. Do you know what a fluked tail is, Riley?
I think like a whale.
That's right. You live near the ocean. I grew up in Kansas. You know all about atolls and fluked tails.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, brah. It is sometimes described as having red glowing eyes, which is, a common trait in a lot of these humanoid creatures. Originally a skeptic, Borian said that all changed when he spotted one for himself. And here is his story in his own words. "I had become quite an enthusiastic fisherman with my fishing rod and had been pulling scores of beautiful real fish. Joseph was renowned by all in the village as being the best spear fisherman. One time he decided to do some night spear fishing, as it was easy to do at night by torchlight. So I decided that while Joseph was spear fishing, I would throw some lines in and see what kind of fish I caught. I was cleaning fish with Chi-Chi, another good friend of mine, when Joseph came out of the water with his
just
dugout."
introducing Chi-Chi now into the story. I'm like,
I need to know more about Chi-Chi.
Yeah, I need backstory now.
Who is Joseph, and who, more importantly, is Chi-Chi?
Okay.
Who's Chi-Chi? Wait a minute, y'all. Who's Chi-Chi?
Hold up.
You went fishing? Joseph was there? Who's Chi-Chi?
Exactly.
Well, Chi-Chi was another good friend of mine. When Joseph came out of the water with his dugout canoe full of fish to add to our already large pile. While we were inspecting his catch, Joseph suddenly shouted for our attention, There, the dragon snake. He was pointing to the right, down the beach. As I looked down the beach, I couldn't believe what I saw. About 1 kilometer away, there was a very bright, luminous, white object flying slowly over the water. I remember asking myself whether I was really seeing it. I called out for my wife, Miriam, to come bring me my binoculars. And after focusing in on the star-like, brilliantly lit object, I noticed that it was about 60 foot round and seemed to make no noise. We watched it for a couple of minutes until it submerged itself into the sea. Joseph told me to wait about 10 minutes and I'd see it come back out again, which it did. When it came back out of the water, it was glowing twice as brightly as when it went in. We continued to watch it with my binoculars as it returned to the coast in the direction whence it had come, and until it disappeared out of sight over the top of the coconut trees. Oh, those beautiful coconut trees. How I loved to watch Chi-Chi climb to the top, pick me a fresh coconut, and toss it down, break it in half with a machete, and allow me to sip from one half while he sips from the other.
And you do that while Miriam's fetching your binoculars, I suppose.
Who's Chi-Chi? I still don't know who Chi-Chi is. Somewhat startled by this experience, we went back into the house and sat talking about this dragon snake until the early hours of the morning. They told me that if you didn't see it one night, you were quite likely to see it the next. They were right. In fact, over a 7-month period, I lost count of these sightings when they reached the 60 mark. So this guy saw a glowing dragon as bright as a star that's 60 feet round, like
and he's
the girth,
60 times.
60 times,
but gave us the level of detail of the first viewing, I guess.
Yes,
with Chi-Chi and Miriam, and
apparently didn't take a photo of Chi-Chi. Then get ready for this.
Okay,
there are the opposite.
Ridiculous, and I don't know what to make of all that.
Listen, it's not just this guy. They talk about the dragon snake there. People say,
I was picturing a dragon snake, not a 60-foot star orb.
They say, I think it's round, like it's thick. It's not like a spherical thing. Oh. It's a glowing, flying reptilian thing.
Okay.
But maybe the brightness of it is like got a spherical aura around it. I don't know.
Sounds like a UFO is what this dragon snake sounds like.
You know what? A dragon is a UFO, Riley. You ever think about that?
That is a strong point. Strong point. Yeah.
Well, get ready for this.
Okay.
We got the giants, and then we got the opposite of the giants. We have the hobbits.
Same island?
Same islands. Now, I believe, Google and correct me, I believe there are 1,000 islands in this archipelago.
Oh,
it's vast. I mean, it's small, but there's a lot of area, and there's a lot of jungle. Yeah. There's a lot of activity going on here.
Cool. So you got like Giant Island, Dragon Snake Island, Hobbit Island.
We have Hobbit Island.
Great.
So the hobbits, also known as Kamamora, according to writer Alex Putney. Now, Alex Putney writes, the Kokomora, or Chawa Chawa, are found throughout the lush tropical rainforests of the Solomon Islands. This species is known to local trackers as inhabiting remote and inaccessible areas not afflicted with the human presence. A significant population of these diminutive troglodytes, has been widely recognized as occupying a multitude of caves on the remote and sparsely populated inland mountains of Makira. Islanders say the Kokomora live a naked and barefoot lifestyle, customarily allowing their hair to grow down past the waist and loosely matted or dreaded into several locks that hang down over the body for warmth, camouflage, and rain protection. It is also said they do not use fire, but like to snatch brands from native fires and play with them, throwing them carelessly aside. Well, if they don't like playing with fire, then how do they explain this? In 2004, a female Kokomora was allegedly photographed igniting a palm frond by photographer Victoria Jin on the island of Makira, and I present this photo of a Kokomora little lady playing with fire.
That is a truly wild photo.
Now, I have seen this photo in a couple different places. This one does, I have to say, look to be a little bit like cleaned up and enhanced. So I'm going to try to find, I'll put all of this up. This is a wild picture. Describe
it looks like an album cover.
It does. It looks like something out of The Dark Crystal, to be honest. Like it looks like a Jim Henson movie. Okay, describe for the listeners what you're looking at as I try to find like the less cleaned up version of this.
So there's this figure crouching, looks to be female, very sort of dirty skin, very long matted hair. She's sort of crouched Smeagol style, I would say, looking up, mouth agape, but she's holding all the way to the extreme foreground this lit burning stick, like right up into the camera, and her face is moving real fast, so it's all like motion blurred, and then sort of a crisp, lush jungle background.
Now scroll down. This is a less high res version of the photo.
Yeah, that makes more sense for 2004.
And this makes more sense, I think, than the cleaned up version.
It seems like that's some sort of AI enhanced kind of thing.
But this is the original. 2004.
That's a 2004 camera right there. Yeah. But I mean, I will say this looks like a human person who just lives in the jungle.
Well, also we do know that small hobbit-like humans did live. I mean, they've found skeletons.
Still do. Yeah, sure.
So it wouldn't surprise me. Now I'm going out on a ledge here, everybody. I'm going out on a jungle branch. I don't. Go. But you hear of pygmy tribes, and I could believe that there is a small tribe of small people somewhere in the jungle on a remote island.
Absolutely.
That's not a stretch for me.
No, not at all. Not at all. But this also does remind me of the Hawaiian mythology about the Menehune.
Yes.
Yeah. Very sort of similar island mythology.
Well, and there's a cool genetic trait of like 10% of the population in Solomon Islands. They're dark skinned, but they have blonde hair. There's like this genetic mutation. It's a really cool look. Cool. And this also kind of has lighter hair as well, or she, I should say. I don't want to say it,
Seems like it's just a lady who lives in the jungle.
It could be a little girl too.
Who knows? Could be.
So I don't know. I will say the website in this story seems pretty fringe. So take it all with a grain of salt. But I had never seen this photo before, and I think it's a cool photo.
It's definitely cool. I like it.
It reminds me of a gelf. She reminds me of a gelfling from Dark Crystal. That's what I'm thinking. It's giving gelfling, y'all.
I feel that.
This is also kind of how I picture Chi-Chi.
That's Chi-Chi.
That's Chi-Chi. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to get to the mother of all mysterious islands.
All righty.
Okay, Riley, the moment we've been waiting for all summer long has arrived. Finally, we come to a place that has been called the most mysterious place on Earth. It's definitely one of the most remote places on the planet, Rapa Nui, also known as Easter Island, famous for its enigmatic stone giants, the Moai. Now, this tiny dot in the vast Pacific Ocean is situated about 2,000 miles from the coast of Chile and over 2,600 miles from French Polynesia. You got Google Earth handy? Zoom out, spin the globe around till you got the side that's pretty much all blue. Trace your finger from the coast of Chile, head west, and stop about halfway through that Pacific Ocean. Zoom in real tight, and that's where Rapa Nui is. It's really, really remote.
Wow.
Now, I did you a disservice, Riley. I forgot to put photos of the Moai in the Google Doc. I will put them up for our friends, but you might want to just Google Moai and
just to get in the mood.
Have your eyes on them and get in the mood. So, how the hell did this place ever get populated, you might be wondering? Well, the history of Rapa Nui is as captivating as the statues themselves. It is commonly believed that the Polynesian people who first settled the island arrived sometime between the 12th and 18th centuries AD. So, in the grand scheme of things, not that long ago.
Yeah.
It was during this time period that these original settlers, led by their king, Hotumatua, first created the mysterious Moai. Massive volcanic rock statues that have both mystified and fascinated people for generations. The Moai are carved from volcanic tuff, Tuff, primarily sourced from the Ranu Raru. God damn it. The Ranu Raraku quarry on the island.
Nice.
I'm really caught up about the archipelago. I love that word too. Archipelago. How can I get it wrong?
I like archipelago. It's just it's bouncy.
Ashwagandha.
God
damn it, I can't get it right. Most of these statues stand between 15 to 20 feet tall, while some soar to heights of 30 feet, with the tallest known Moai reaching an astonishing 70 feet, and I think weighing around 130 tons. These things are freaking heavy.
Wow.
Now, many are lined along. Let's look. Google for me, quick Googs. How much do the Moai weigh? And give me like the biggest one. I thought I read 130. I forgot to write it down. And now that seems too much.
Between 10 to 12 metric tons.
Okay. So maybe I saw 13.
But that's the average.
That's
not
average.
For the big boy. Not for the 70-footer. That's for like a 13-footer.
Yeah. I'm doing horse math on this, but it's heavy. Now, many are lined along the coastline of the island, like the 7 Ahu Akivi.
86 tons.
Okay, I was
heaviest
close.
Moai.
I was close.
Yeah.
I might have been reading like kilograms.
That's Ahu Tongariki.
So the 7 Ahu Akivi who stand sentinel to watch for sailors on the coastline. And they are also they have placed Moai next to coastlines. The ones that are placed next to the coastline may also double as indications of pools of water where the island volcanic springs meet the ocean, acting as a marker where potable water along the coastline is available to drink, which I thought was kind of cool.
That's very cool.
Scientists started to go, wait a minute, we've noticed that some of these are near these like lagoons where you can actually drink the water and they're not, the saline is like really
I mean, maybe that would be considered like a sacred site then too. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Here's the thing that we run into with Rapa Nui is there's no written history. The oral history has kind of died out. So there's a lot of like guessing and archaeological clues and like some Western European colonists' account of what was happening on the island, which we know is, not always a reliable narrative, a reliable narrator. So other Moai face inland towards the inhabitants of the island with their back to the oceans, which was considered the spiritual realm, and towards the community, meaning the here and now, so they're watching over their descendants. I lost my place here. Others lay half buried or tipped skyward just down the hill of the Rano Rakuru quarry, as if they were abandoned or forgotten on their way downhill. Some statues were left unfinished, still laying on their backs, half carved out of the volcanic rock. And this is what I learned is really cool. They would carve them first lying down, and then once they had sculpted them, they would go around the rock and slowly chip away and chisel away beneath them so they could fall free from the volcanic rock face. And then they have theories about how they moved them around the island, which we'll get to in a minute. It's, pretty similar to the Stonehenge stuff. These giant statues, like other monoliths we have discussed, are meant to honor the ancestors of the Rapa Nui people and their chieftains, or certain family members of the community leaders. When you stand before the Moai, their gaze seems to reach skyward, evoking an aura of mystery and reverence for the cosmos. It is no wonder that as one dives into the lore of Easter Island, named so because Jacob Roggeveen, the original Dutch explorer who first quote-unquote discovered the island back in 1722, did so on Easter Sunday.
I was wondering about that.
That's why it's called that by Westerners. You cannot avoid theories proposed by ufologists and ancient astronaut theorists. Some Saucerians believe these monumental figures may not just represent human ancestors, but could possibly be depictions of extraterrestrial beings. The notion is further fueled by the peculiar features of the Moai, the elongated heads and defined facial characteristics reminiscent of aliens in pop culture. A prominent proponent of the extraterrestrial theory, old Eric Von Daniken, that dirty bastard who wrote Chariots of the Gods, argues that the Moai's design with its narrow noses and lips resemble robotic forms. Others, like Giorgio A. Tsoukalos, a.k.a. the Ancient Aliens guy,
the hair guy.
The hair guy, think that the Moai head resemble the elongated skulls found in the Nazca region of Peru, which have often put forth as evidence of an alien race interacting with the Incas. Or that little guy that we saw in that video at the beginning of the episode. Now, this is me here. Even taken at face value, I would argue that the Moai have short foreheads and elongated chins. Quite the opposite. But I digress.
Yeah.
This has sparked a conversation around possible connections between Rapa Nui and other ancient sites like Tiwanaku in Bolivia, which is an old city, where similar face carvings can be found dating as far back as 17,000 years. Some theorists suggest that these monumental creations signify a shared lineage or connection among ancient civilizations, possibly hinting at influences and teachers from ancient space travelers. According to the story, some accounts speak of a race of giants. Here we go again, that once lived side by side with the Rapa Nui people on the island, further fueling speculation about the origins of the Moai statues. Much like Stonehenge, one of the possible explanations as to how people constructed these giant monoliths and got them around was they had help from giants or UFOs.
Right.
Yep. Don't worry. We're coming back around on this.
Or leverage.
Just mechanics.
Yeah.
According to the ancient astronaut camp, one of Jacob Roggeveen's crewmates, Carl Friedrich Barron, famously claimed to have seen towering individuals with notable physical features like elongated earlobes when they arrived at Easter Island. Now, it should be noted that the Moai are depicted with elongated earlobes, so maybe Barron wasn't talking about literal giants, but the giant statues themselves, which I think is probably the case. I think this has been conflated.
Yeah.
Because you listen to Ancient Aliens and they're like, his men could walk under the legs of these giants. And then I'm like, where is this coming from?
Sure. Yeah.
Also, sidebar, I got to say, there is a real giant fascination happening with the evangelical crew. Now, I'm not knocking anybody's religion, but people who are into the Bible are very into giants because they're just really holding on to that Goliath story.
And the Nephilim.
They get real excited about the Nephilim. I am shocked by how many videos on YouTube are about the Nephilim being on Solomon Islands and the proof that the Nephilim still exist. It's Is
that the Anunnaki too? Did you get? Are you on that algorithm now?
Anunnaki. Now, I always thought the Anunnaki were the gods that created the Nephilim.
Okay, sure.
But I could be wrong. There's a lot of there's way more giant core happening on YouTube than I expected, and it all seems to be very steeped in the Bible. It's pretty
biblical
wild.
Giants are in.
They
right
are
now.
in 2025. Also,
biblical giant is like the paranormal trad wife, you know?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Also, I will say perplexingly, dragon videos are big now. People are really liking to say that dragons are real. Now, I just told you all a story about a dragon. There you go. But I'm like, really? We're doing dragons now?
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, I don't think anyone's lying about dragons. I don't think. They're like, why were they all in these old stories? They must have been real. This is the problem I get into, is just the literalism that comes with some of this territory, like these stone giants being literal giants when they're just big stone statues. Okay, I'm off the soapbox. Here we go. Where was I? Yes, I said this. Yes. However, by the time Europeans came and went, but basically 100 years later, the giants were gone. So there was no stories of like, where do these giants go? By the 1800s, you're not hearing stories about giants.
Okay.
And so was much of Rapa Nui's population. More on that in a minute. There are oral traditions that claim that the Moai would walk down from the Raraku quarry to their locations. Now, I love this story. Now, if we're talking about local lore, I love this. So there's lore that they would come to life, walk down to their position, and take their place.
Oh, okay.
Which is very fun.
Yeah.
In one tale, a king named Tuku Ulu had the help of the god Mekemeki in moving the stones. But let's go back to the extraterrestrials for a moment. Why Rapa Nui? Why would aliens want to even be here? Well, like the pyramids, Stonehenge, and other mysterious locations, ancient astronaut theorists have proposed that Easter Island is one of the energetic hotspots on Earth, a very attractive quality for alien visitors. It's also proposed that ancient astronauts were interested in areas that were central sacred sites to certain cultures around the world, in this case, the Polynesian peoples. And Rapa Nui can be translated to mean the navel of the world, so very central. In other words, aliens like this place because it was a special belly button.
A special
belly button. Or was it special because aliens liked it? I don't know. So let's take a look at what we know about the Moai's actual historical context.
Okay.
These statues, as I said, were meticulously crafted to honor prominent chiefs or individuals within the Polynesian society. Now, each statue was placed on a rectangular stone platform known as an ahu, which served not only as a base for the Moai, but also as a tomb of sorts for the spirit of the honored individual it depicted. The spiritual essence or power was known as mana, and it was believed that this power resided most prominently in the pukao, the top knot made of red scoria stone that would sometimes adorn the head of these statues, symbolizing the long hair of the deceased. And this would grant protection and prosperity to a tribe in a manner that reinforces the belief that these ancestors and these people continued to exist through the Moai. Sure. Eye holes would not be carved until the statue reached its intended location, which is kind of cool. Once completed, the eyes were often inlaid with coral, bringing the Moai to life in a symbolic sense. And this is cool. The eye stuff they didn't figure out until recently, because when you look at the Moai, most of the eye sockets are empty. But archaeologists were finding these teardrop shaped, what they thought were pots around. They thought it was some type of ceramic or some coral pot. And then they eventually realized, oh, wait a minute. This stone goes in this, and it creates an iris and a pupil that fit into the statue. So over time, a lot of those had been fallen out, or they had been taken out.
I like that they kind of made them go to their spot with their eyes closed, so it's like a little surprise for the statue.
Yeah, or it doesn't come to life until it's like on camera and ready to go.
Yeah,
you know,
that's good.
Places, everybody. So the walking down the hill thing, archaeologists think that maybe that term came from the locals hoisting the carved statues on to end and then having ropes tied around the top of the head and then literally walking them down the hill, like shuffling the stones down, because they had discovered, and they were lost for a long time, but they discovered there are definitely paths leading from the volcanic quarry downhill and down around the island. So there was like a road where they could have moved, that they obviously used to move these things, like a little highway for the Moai.
Sure.
So they've tried that. They've tried recreating that, and it worked-ish. It would chip away at the base of the statue. So that's kind of been walked back as a theory. And now we're sort of back to the wooden sledge and rollers that we've heard about in Stonehenge.
Right.
And then, of course, they get them there and they hoist them up using,
sticks
engineering
and ropes.
of the times. They got ropes. They can do it. They can create pulleys and all this stuff. Yeah, brains and ropes. So these impressive structures were not only an immense labor of love, but also served as a symbol of cultural identity and economic power. The creation of a larger statue often required significant resources, leading to intense competition among tribes. The construction involved intricate trade, where the purchasing tribe would exchange items like sweet potatoes, chickens, and obsidian tools to acquire these revered statues. So it's kind of like everyone's kind of like keeping up with the Joneses here. You know what I mean? Families have their, your family, your ancestors, you want to get as cool of a Moai as possible.
Totally.
So, however, the fate of these statues over time has led to numerous discussions and theories. When the first European ships arrived on Easter Island in 1722, most of the Moai were standing upright. Over the following centuries, however, many were toppled, and a lot of them have sunk into the ground as well.
Right.
Or, they found they thought they were just heads, but they found the bodies underground.
Right. Yeah.
That could be just shifting landscape over time. They recently found one at the bottom of a lake.
Cool.
And they realized that probably when it was built, there wasn't a lake there, and now there's a lake there. So it just, or formed up around the statue. Let's see. It's speculated that during intertribal warfare, fallen Moai were used to humiliate opponents. Most statues are found face down, buried in the earth. According to local legends, a woman named Nohaini Pika Uri possessed strong spiritual powers and is said to have caused the statues to fall in anger when her children failed to provide for her. It's possible that most of the Moai were toppled by followers of, get ready, there's another figure that lives on this island, the Birdman cult.
What?
A religious group that emerged in the 1500s and moved away from the religious idolatry, thank you, of the Moai and began worshiping a half-human, half-bird god known as the Birdman. Okay. Petroglyphs of the Birdman can be found around the island and are associated with the sacred village of Rago on the southern tip of the island. So They basically were like, over time, they started to form a new religion, a new cult around this guy, the Birdman.
Yeah. They were like, forget these big heads.
Yeah.
Birdman We're going with this bird true god.
The fall of the Rapa Nui people has been debated over the centuries. For a long time, it was believed that ecocide was the cause, or intertribal violence, warfare and cannibalism. However, there is little evidence that truly exists for either of these theories. Because a lot of people thought that they just used up all the resources on the island. There was indications that when they first would have arrived, there was a lot of trees on the island, and now there aren't many trees. So they thought that they were just using up all of their resources, and trade is hard to come by because there aren't a lot of, I think the nearest island is like 1,200 kilometers away. Jeez. So it's tough to trade there. Yeah. So people thought they used up all their resources. They began to, go into famine. They fought each other, and it all kind of fell apart. There's now theories that they're like, actually, they had their population under control. They kind of whittled themselves. They populated themselves to a sustainable place. So it's all been, that stuff has been kind of cleared up. And what they've decided was likely the end or the fall of the Rapa Nui people was stuff like the Peruvian slave trades and diseases being brought in, and being illness that come with being exposed to the growing global trade system of the time.
Yeah, it sounds like it's that one.
Yeah, it's bad people and bad diseases basically killed off most of the Rapa Nui people.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, it's sad. While the Moai of Easter Island has garnered attention from academics, archaeologists, and alien theorists alike, their true story remains woven in a tapestry of history, culture, and speculation. With no written history documented, their story will be one that is unraveled for years. And sadly, we are now in a race against time. Recent science has shown us that the Moai may ultimately fall victim to a major antagonist, climate change. This is a story that comes from BBC this summer. Big Strange Vacation, July 3rd, 2025. Is this the end for Easter Island's Moai statues? Easter Island's famous Moai statues are crumbling into the sea, the article reads, forcing locals to face urgent decisions about how best to protect their heritage. And basically, this article goes on to talk about how they're eroding and climate change is basically destroying these statues. At first glance, the imposing Moai with their stern expression seem hardy, but they are made from tuff, a volcanic rock largely composed of compressed ash. This type of stone is porous and unusually soft. The wind and rain do not treat it kindly. Up close, the aging visages of the Moai are riddled with signs of erosion and staining. They are gradually wearing away to dust. Tuki, who works in Rapa Nui's tourism industry, is essentially watching these stunning figures slowly disappear. My father told me that the Moai would go back into the ocean one day, she says. Tuki's father, who died in 2020, was a famed contemporary Moai sculptor. So I also love that there are people who still sculpt these things today.
Awesome.
Yeah, so...
I mean, that's kind of poetic and cool.
It is. From the day they were erected, the sun, wind, and rain and vagaries of temperature have also taken their toll on the Moai. When moisture from the sea spray evaporates, salt crystallizes, inside soft volcanic tuff expands, causing the statues to flake or spall, creating hairline cracks and honeycomb-shaped cavities. I noticed lichens growing on the surfaces of many of the statues with the appearance of concentric rashes. Animals interfere with the Moai too. Horses and cattle scratch their itches on the monoliths while birds claw into the tuff. and deposit toxic droppings or guano, which erodes the material yet further. In 2020, a truck accidentally crashed into one of the faces. Yikes. It says but here we go. Crucially, though, weathering of the Moai appears to have increased sharply during recent decades. Daniela Meza Marchant, lead conservator of the Mauhanua indigenous community that runs the Rapa Nui National Park, has said. She noted that images and records from the past century show alteration has increased over the past 50 years compared to the previous 50. And, of course, these things have been around forever.
Yeah.
It's a huge bummer. In fact, according to a 2016 UNESCO report, the Rapa Nui's Moai are among the heritage sites most affected by climate change worldwide. So it's really a bummer. So hopefully the community will figure out how to preserve these and save as many as possible. I would love to go here.
Me too.
The videos that I watched of it just seems so cool. You can take flights from Peru or Chile over to the island. It's not impossible to get to. I think there are flights from French Polynesia as well. So I feel like this is one of the bucket list places I would like to go, especially since these statues are in danger of eroding away.
It's definitely on my big list. 7,750 residents of this island.
Yeah, it's tiny. It's really tiny, but it's it's basically now a tourist place. It runs a lot of tourism.
Course.
Well, there you go, my friends.
Wow.
Why don't we dock the SS Apple Taint for the day? We've done our rounds of mysterious islands. Riley, do you have any takeaways from our journey across the Pacific Oceans?
The ocean is full of mystery and wonder, and it's just a joy to set sail on these magical seas.
It's cool, isn't it? I mean, there's a very Gulliver's Travels vibe about some of these stories. And it does make you think, if you were an explorer back in the day, landing in some of these places would be like landing on a different planet,
Totally.
And just seeing it, I think we take for granted with how homogenized everything is now, that you could really go to places and just be like, it is completely different here. Yeah.
Yeah. I've always been so fascinated by Easter Island too, since I was a little kid. It's definitely very high on my list of places I'd like to see in this world.
It's cool.
Something about it. The fact that all these people set their minds to just building these very trippy sculptures on this little island in the middle of it does make the world feel a little more magical, a little more mysterious, a little more wonderful.
It's also cool that there's something about the human brain, and obviously Stonehenge was erected much earlier, but the idea of stone being, and we see this just in our everyday lives with our, tombstones and headstones, the stone being associated with the dead and a thing that will last a long time.
Well, yeah, it's time more than anything. It's a medium with which to transcend time. And that's why you see people preserving ancestors and monuments and things. And yeah.
And that's something that is universal with all cultures. And this idea of creating stone monoliths to honor the ancestors or to hold on to them is it's really cute. It's really cool and it's really beautiful. And it also is an indication of an era and a time when we were so much more in tune to nature that we would relate to rocks as something eternal and something that is close to everlasting, like death. You know what I mean? It's very, very poetic.
Yeah. When all the digital information and the internet's all wiped away, the pyramids will still be there.
Yep. And we'll be living in another type of dark ages, where there's not a lot of written history. It's possible.
Could be.
If this all gets wiped out,
could happen.
People will only be able to know about Bigfoot Collectors Club if somebody pulled up and printed out a transcription and those papers survive someplace.
Somebody get this down on a scroll.
Get it down on a scroll, guys. Scroll it. Chi-Chi.
Chi-Chi, get
Chi-Chi
your scroll
gotta write
out.
it down on a scroll. Who's Chi-Chi? All right, Riley, it's time to shout out some Club Scouts who recently joined us over on BCC the other side. Except, guess what? We don't have that right now. So cut this part, and here we'll just come back in. Okay. Because we don't have it. We're gonna save. Oh well, I didn't write it down, but hold on. Actually, cut all of this. Cut.
Damn it, Chi-Chi.
Chi-Chi, damn it, Chi-Chi. Actually, I can do this. So let me just pull it up. Chi-Chi, cut it, Chi-Chi. Now, if I listen back and I hear that this is in the episode, I'm going to be upset.
Well, take it up with Chi-Chi.
Chi-Chi, leave it out. All right. New members, I forgot to write it down. Okay. Here we go. Great. I'm just going to roll with it. Okay. Riley.
Yeah.
It's time to shout out some Club Scouts who recently joined BCC The Other Side, which you can join right now at bcc.supercast.com. It's time for some Club Scout shoutouts.
All right.
Here we go. Karen Devaney.
Thanks, Karen.
Nancy Gilvin.
Thank you, Nancy.
Keegan Eckensviller.
Thanks, Keegan.
Chris B.
Thanks, Chris.
I think Chris B may have upgraded to Cosmeteer, so I'm just going to say Chris B Cosmeteer.
Welcome to the ranks.
Trailer Rash is back. Hi,
hey, Trailer Rash.
Spencer A. Lutz is back. Cosmeteer.
Welcome back, Spencer.
And Rachel Ladd. Welcome. We
Rachel,
give you
thank you.
Shout out and
shout out
thank
to you.
you.
Indeed.
Do you have something for Collector's Corner this week? What are you watching? What are you listening to? What are you consuming? What are you collecting? What are you into?
Here's what I got for you this week. I have a place that I just was, which was the Benbow Historic Inn, which I was told immediately walking in, I was like, this place is haunted as fuck. And then you could just feel it right when you walk in. So, context, this is in way, way Northern California.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. You have a sneaky little Big Strange Vacation installment at the very end of this episode.
I had a literal Big Strange Vacation. I was doing visuals for my friends, the band Jungle, at a festival called, what was it called?
You
Dirty
told me
Bird
this.
Camp Out.
Yes.
Northern...
Hold on, I'm looking at it. Dirty Bird
Lights? No,
Dirty
Northern
Bird
something. Northern
Camp
Nights?
Out.
It was a festival.
Dirty Bird Camp Out, Northern Lights, California Music Festival.
That was it. Okay, yeah. So that.
It was a crossover between Dirty Bird Camp Out and Northern Nights.
Yes.
I guess.
It was basically an electronic music festival in the middle of deep in the forest. And the closest place we could even find was this Benbow Historic Inn to stay for the night. And it was as soon as you walked in, it was so haunted. And there's like a grandfather clock in the lobby, and beyond the lobby there's a room that is as though they set it up as a haunted parlor. Like they are leaning into it. And so we started talking to like the front desk guy, and he was like, "Oh yeah," we were like joking around, and he was like, "Oh, it's definitely haunted." And they were saying, that lights would come on and off and things like that. So on their website, which we will include a link to in the show notes, there's some various encounters over the years. I unfortunately did not encounter any ghosts during my stay. I was really hoping to. This is also this big historic inn that sort of feels like the Overlook Hotel.
Whoa.
Not gonna lie, and it's right on this.
It's like a lodgy.
Yeah, it's big. It's big. It's like a big lodge, and it's right on this river. Like from my room, I could walk out onto this path and walk down to this river, which I did several times.
This sounds awesome.
It was awesome. I liked this inn a lot. I would stay there.
What town is this in?
Benbow? I mean, it's very like middle of the forest, like way north of San Francisco.
Cool.
South of Redding.
Is it like near Eureka area?
Yeah. Right around there.
That's a spooky place.
It is spooky around there.
Oh, I see this.
We drove down the Avenue of the Giants. If you've ever done that,
it's so cool there.
Yeah, amazing.
That's my favorite place. That's where I want my ashes to be spread. Is in the redwood forest.
Okay. Well, if I'm still alive, I'll make sure that happens.
Thank you.
Or we'll go right at the same time.
I want to be buried on Endor. The Forest Moon of Endor.
Yeah. And the little, what are the little guys called? Ewoks. Sorry.
It's the opposite of Wookiee.
Right.
Ewok.
Okay, so this is from their website. Let me just tell you some stories from the Benbow.
Oh, I love this. What a delightful surprise.
Okay. So this is now, I'm reading from the website now. And there's a ton of these. I've just grabbed a few selections. But there's a grandfather clock next to the front desk. It is completely broken with no working parts inside, yet it's known to go off randomly, says hotel staff member. Here's another. Angry Chef, our famous kitchen ghost, is one spirit. It is rumored that he was the head cook here in the early 1970s. Angry Chef. A very stern, controlling, and high-strung man who wanted everything perfect. It said he had a heart attack while working in the kitchen. The ghost has been seen pacing angrily in the basement and broiler room.
Imagine that you were such an angry person at your job that you're not memorialized by your name. You're just memorialized by what your job was and how angry you were doing it.
Yes.
Angry Chef. It's like Bad Grandpa. Angry Chef.
Yeah, Angry Chef is a real
Angry
cartoon
Santa
of a ghost. Yeah. There's been several sightings. Here's one from July 17th, 2012. Between 3 and 4 a.m., sightings of a woman in white with a young girl are seen by the hotel kitchen and stairs used by employees only. That was from an employee. Here's one from room 117. A guest locked their door and went out for a stroll. While on the bridge, they looked up and noticed someone standing in their window looking out. Upon their return, it seemed no one had entered their room. And there's multiple stories of that. Another on room 321, between 8:30 and 9:30 p.m., a guest was dining on the terrace below their room and could see their room window above, which the guest knew was their room as they left the window open and the window blah, 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 blah. When they clearly saw a person's figure in their room, the guest ran to the front desk immediately with a hotel employee, quickly went up to the room to investigate, and the door was still locked, and the room was searched with nobody hiding inside.
Oh, no.
This one's one of my favorites. At 3 a.m., this is from another hotel employee. At 3 a.m. exactly, the elevator is called to the 4th floor. It then descends to the 1st, then to ground. The doors open in the lobby, which I had not moved, and no one exits the elevator. The doors close, and the air feels cold. And they're saying, I was at the computer closest to the elevator. I know what they're referring to. And then the lobby lights came on as though someone was passing through.
Whoa.
Yeah, Benbow Historic Inn, baby.
Listen to this. I just did a quick Googs. TripAdvisor.
Yeah.
5-star review of Benbow Historic Inn titled, Our Ghost Didn't Seem Too Friendly.
Uh-oh.
I stayed at the Benbow Inn with my mother a few years ago. We were supposed to have a mother-daughter weekend. We get to the hotel and check in our room. I got the basic 2 double bed room. There aren't any TVs or AC, which is fine with us. It was summer, so it was hot and humid around 90 in the evening. Now, why would you not want AC? Anyway, before dinner, my mom was taking a shower and I decided to take a 15-minute nap. During my nap, it suddenly got bone-chillingly cold. No AC to blame. I was overcome with a numbing fear. I was afraid to open my eyes, and I was counting the seconds for my mom to come out. My conscious mind was telling me that I'm acting dumb, but my gut feeling was that there was something very angry in the room with us, and it didn't want us there. Fast forward to the following morning. Mom and I left the room for brunch until my mother realized that she forgot something 15 minutes later. We both go into the room and are trying to open the door. They had skeleton keys to their rooms, but we can't. We go down to the front desk. They all came up to try and open our door, but to no avail. Hotel staff had to call the fire department, who had to use the expanding ladder on their fire truck to crawl into our room window. Fireman opens the door and comes out with a puzzled look on his face. Apparently, the deadbolt on the other door, on the other side of the door was locked. And the deadbolt on the door was locked.
Yeah.
And these are old school deadbolts that latch in from the inside. No one can even see them from the outside. That antique latch thing had to be physically pushed into the metal loop on the door with some force. Fireman checked the room for intruders, even though no one could get into the room unless they had a fire truck. That's when one of the staff goes, "Oh, you guys have the haunted room." Huh? We left a day early. Still gives me the shivers, but the inn was beautiful. Restaurant was pricey, but delicious. The view of the old bridge over the river is like a fairy tale.
It's beautiful.
I wish I wasn't scared shitless so I could come back. That's awesome.
Also,
great story.
Pretty great pub there, too, at the old Benbow Historic Inn. And there's a piano that you can play. I loved it there. It's great.
I love it that you loved it, and I love that it exists, and I want to go sometime.
If you're ever driving through, that's where you should stop.
Come on through. Terrific. Thanks for sharing, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, good TripAdvisor find, too.
Great. Okay, everybody. That wraps it up, I think. bcc.supercast.com. Come join us over at the new official BCC Clubhouse for the other side, ad-free episodes, and cosmic tracks. I think that's about it for this week. Still got some copies of Adventure Van left. If you guys want a signed copy of that, come over to my eBay shop. You can get them there. I'll sign them for you. I'll do a little doodle. Maybe I'll draw you a little picture of the apple taint. We'll see.
Sailing the seven seas of paranormal adventure.
All right, everybody. That's it. We will be back. We'll be crossing over to the other side, I believe. We'll see you over on Supercast. If we don't see you there, we'll see you back here next week for an all-new episode of Bigfoot Collectors Club. Until then, good night.
And go get regressed. Ow. Hoist the mane.
Chi-Chi, get down.
Chi-Chi, get down from the crow's nest.
Now, there's no coconuts up there, Chi-Chi. Loves to share them, too. Bigfoot Collectors Club is produced and engineered by Riley Bray and executive produced by Riley Bray and Michael McMillan. Our theme song, Come Alone, is by Suneaters, courtesy of Lotuspool Records. Follow Suneaters on Spotify. For 3 bonus episodes every month and ad-free episodes, check out BCC The Other Side at patreon.com/BigfootCollectorsClub.